Before elves, before dwarves, before men, the Old Ones arrived upon this world. Then came chaos, and the great plan of the Old Ones was unmade. We are the last of their servants, and only by our hand shall the great plan be restored, with the total defeat of the usurping younger races. Lizardmen, sometimes known as the Cold Ones or the Children of the Gods, are an ancient savage race of cold-blooded reptiles that were at the one time the first and the oldest civilization within the Warhammer world. Long before the rise of men, elf or dwarf, the empire of the Lizardmen ruled supreme, alien, enigmatic, and without mercy. The Lizardmen were there when it all began and will be there when the world draws its last dying breath, never tiring nor relenting until order is finally restored to this uncaring, chaotic world. Such is what they were made to do, for they are the ancient servants of the Old Ones, the one true protectors of this very world. Once in a long and forgotten age, the Lizardmen ruled over it all, dominating this ancient world during an age of primeval monsters. Although their realm is now partly in ruins and overgrown, they seek once more to rise up and reclaim that which they have lost many millennia ago. While the task at hand remains near impossible, the empire of the Lizardmen still fight on, unleashing their cold-blooded savagery upon any who would stand in the way of their sacred mission. From the lush jungles they come, beneath totems of gold. The Lizardmen march to war, the ground trembling from the approach of their large and mighty reptilian armies. They go to battle for reasons indecipherable to others, an ancient plan known only to themselves. None can ever understand their motive, nor their ceaseless drive, for none truly understand that they are the rightful inheritors of the world, and it is their sacred, if indestructible, duty to restore order across the planet. If this means the wholesale eradication of the lesser upstart races outside of the Great Plan, then the Lizardmen Empire shall enact this world-spanning genocide once more. The origin of the Lizardmen is a tale that goes back to primeval era, when the world was a dark and largely encased by thick sheets of ice. Long before chaos came to the world, in a time before elves, dwarves or men, the land was ruled by titanic monsters. These enormous creatures battled for dominance and the warmest regions. Those nearest the equatorial band became the most highly contested zones. Some of these life forms were unthinking creatures of pure instinct. Others were established civilizations that rose and fell in the forgotten age. Of that time of the eternal twilight, there is a little knowledge, although buried ruins and descended creatures still remain. Into this brutal age came a mysterious race of godlike beings that plied the heavens in silvered ships. These strangers, known as the Old Ones, came from beyond the stars, where they ruled an empire that spanned not just the cosmos, but time itself. Their technology was advanced beyond imagination. To them, astrology, astronomy, science and magic were all one and the same. Each world in the Old One's empire was linked by a gateway. Some were small portals, allowing an individual to travel inconceivably distances with but a single step. Others often situated in the cold void of space, where portals so large that vessels the size of moons could pass through. In their travels across the endless expanse of the universe, one planet caught their eye, for they saw in it a unique and boundless potential. The Old Ones decreed that this world would have a central place in their unknowable plans, and stellar gates at either pole were created to allow easy access to this hopeful new colony. Before the designs for their newest planet could be fully set in motion, the Old Ones had to reshape it to better fit their needs. Using powers beyond mortal comprehension, they shifted the planet's orbit towards a warming sun. In time, the ice sheets retreated, verdant forests soon growing to cover over the newly revealed lands. The Old Ones created servants to tend to their needs. Thus was the first spawning of the slan-made priests began. There were the Grand Viziers, trusted creatures of the prodigious intellect, and the only beings able to withstand direct contact with the near omnipotent Old Ones and comprehend their teachings. It was the Slan who were to guide the lesser races whose creation would soon follow. For upon the world, the Old Ones had encountered many primitive creatures, including those that would one day be transformed into the first elves, dwarves and men. Powerful and far-sighted, the Old Ones could shape new life forms even from these imperfect materials. They did encounter some creatures whose existence was incompatible with their future plans. As the climate warmed, the Saurus were created to destroy those anomalies, and soon vast armies marched to war, a fight to eradicate those native races that needed to be removed. The Old Ones frequently used the polar gateways to travel the cosmos, but in the meantime they created further spawnings of the Slann to execute their plans. While the Saurus brought order to the world with their brutal campaigns of destruction, greater projects were undertaken. By command of the Old Ones, the Slann established the rainforest temple cities in the region that would one day become Lustria. The Skinks were the technicians and the overseers. It was their role to direct the beasts of burden to haul and heft the heavy loads. In this manner, the Lizardmen built fabulous structures that rose high above the steaming jungles. The Old One's instructions to the Slann were very important as to the locations where the temple cities and many other architectural wonders were constructed across the globe. Each one was raised up purposefully to form a vital nexus in a world-spanning geomantic web, an interlinked matrix of natural earth energy that encompassed the planet. Each site was linked in the next, and the Old Ones were able to draw upon this vast reservoir of energy to manipulate untold devices and enchantments of great power. The Slann-made priests were also able to tap into the geomantic web, and with these energies they could shift continents and further aid the unknown plans of the Old Ones. So long as each link remained connected, they could be used to telepathically communicate with one another over vast distances. By entering a trance, the mage priests could transmit pure thoughts and hold councils of communion.